Hey Warriors, welcome back for Unit 11, Lesson 3. This is still sleep disorders, but we're on our second part. We'll cover sleepwalking and sleep apnea. A person who has sleepwalking, so this is a disorder in which a person is partly but not completely awake during the night. That person may walk and do other things without any memory of doing so. Sleepwalking is a disorder associated with children, although some adults may sleepwalk. Most children who sleepwalk do not have any emotional problems and will outgrow it. Sleepwalking has been linked to stress, fatigue, and the use by adults of sedatives and medicines. Sleepwalking may also be inherited. Contrary to myth, it is not dangerous to wake a sleepwalker. However, because sleepwalkers are not fully conscious, they will be disoriented. Laboratory studies indicate that these episodes occur in the first deep stage 4 sleep of the night and are generally associated with body movements and intense autonomic activation. Brainwave recordings indicate that both sleepwalkers and night terror victims are passing back and forth between sleep and wakefulness. Sleepwalking often occurs when people are very sleep deprived. These non-REM sleep disorders tend to run in families. One patient claimed that everyone in his family was surrounded by a sleepwalker. That is, everyone in his family was a sleepwalker. He recounted the story of a family reunion at Christmas in which he found himself surrounded by all of his sleeping relatives in his grandfather's dining room. Sleep apnea literally means cessation of respiration. It's a serious disorder, potentially life-threatening. In apnea, the change from wakefulness to sleep causes the central nervous system to cease functioning. There are 2 forms of sleep apnea. One is central sleep apnea. After the individual falls asleep, the diaphragm stops moving because the brain no longer sends impulses to control it. The second one, in upper airway sleep apnea, breathing is blocked by loss of muscle tone in the tongue, throat, and larynx. Intermittent loud snoring frequently accompanies the disorder as the individual struggles to fill the lungs with air. In addition to elevated blood pressure may occur, placing additional strain on the heart. After about 60 to 100 seconds of sleep, the person awakens and takes a series of choking breaths. As a result, the arousal lasts a few seconds as the blood gases quickly normalize and the person returns to sleep. The cycle repeats itself throughout the night. Some patients may awaken as many as 500 times, but may be so habituated to their disorder that they are unaware of having awakened at all. They're oblivious to the fact that they cannot breathe and sleep at the same time. Others, however, do not return to sleep immediately after the apnea and complain of insomnia. Today, people treat this with a CPAP machine, which is on the next slide here, and that typically helps those that are suffering from sleep apnea open that airway and get a constant air supply. This plastic mask is worn over the nose during the sleep, and patients have to sleep with their mouth closed. They do that by having that chin strap, and that forces the air constrictions to open and allows oxygen into the airway. Now, it can be surgically corrected by a Stanford surgical technique where the large tongue muscle is pulled forward and away from the back of the throat. There's a radio frequency technology which shrinks the volume of the base of the tongue, and then, that hopefully can do it. You have filled out a chart which looks a little bit like this. We have the sleep disorder, the description. I asked you to create a non-linguistic representation, or in other words, a picture, which represents for you what these sleep disorders look like. So I hope that you've been able to come up with something and racked your brain for that. To summarize sleep disorders, studies indicate that these episodes occur in the first deep stage 4 sleep of the night, that is sleepwalking, but also stage 3. So stage 3, stage 4, our deepest sleep, we enter into these sleep disorders. Sleep disorders can be, as you read or as you heard in the insomnia, they can affect a wide variety of our behaviors. So they can affect obesity, heart disease, dealing with stress. People who get more sleep tend to have better grades in school. When we put a high priority on sleep, our body pays us back.